Welcome back, guys and gals. JJ here once again, schooloftrade.com. Today's trading psychology question of the day. Great question. He says, I've struggled to move from sim trading to live trading. He says, I can easily make money on a simulator, but the moment I move to live trading is when I start falling apart, losing money again, right? And of course, it all snowballs. He asked, do you have any tricks for moving from sim to live trading without this disaster happening every time? This is a great question, and I'm sure that almost every single one of us as traders struggles with this in some variation, right, when we're new. And I definitely struggled with this when I was in your shoes as well. So let's talk some strategy. Here are six tips to move from simulated trading to live trading without having an emotional breakdown, without blowing out your account, right? Number one, trade a strategy that has been proven for over 100 trades. This is by far the most important tip of them all, and it's the one mistake that I made as a rookie most consistently. And I see the most new traders making this mistake as well today. Now, if you take this business seriously, assuming you're not here to gamble, and you value the money in your trade account, you won't risk your capital until you have developed a trading strategy that has shown you positive results, including slippage and commission for over 100 trades. Now, I'm not talking about back testing here, right? Looking back in time doesn't work because you have the benefit of hindsight, and most indicators, such as moving averages and momentum indicators, look great in hindsight, but they don't look nearly as good in real time, right? You probably know what I'm talking about if you try to use any moving average cross strategies, right? Now, I'm talking about trading on a simulator, or if you insist, with a small live position, one or two contracts. I have some clients with big accounts and they say, I don't want to go on simulator. So if you insist, right, very small position. And what I would recommend is on a simulator, go into your trading software and in your results, add one tick for slippage, add in your broker's commission, right? If you're a NinjaTrader, I use NinjaTrader, so you can actually add in one tick for slippage. You can add in broker commissions as well, right? And then trade your strategy and see how your strategy performs over 100 individual trades. It's going to take you a little bit of while, but it's important. Now, when I was a new trader, I would learn a new strategy, and you might know the words of this song. I would test it for 2 or 3 days, looking left, right? Not forward testing, but looking left to see, well, yeah, I would have traded there, I would have traded here, right? And then I would immediately then go live the following day. Genius, right? As you can imagine, like many of you have probably experienced before, the fourth day, right, is the day the strategy no longer works, and you lose a lot of money and you lose a lot of confidence in the process. Now, the reason why this doesn't work is because you didn't give yourself enough time in the testing phase of your strategy. For example, the market may have been range bound for a few days when you developed your new breakout strategy, right? And then the market starts trending the day you go live, and whoops, didn't take the time to test far enough, right, into the future. Or perhaps you developed your strategy during a strong trend, right, like a lot of equity markets are right now, only to find the market then go sideways the following week. You lose all your confidence, and guess what? You also get a chance to lose some money in the process. So if you're trying to develop your own trading strategy, you need to remember that your goal is to find the most reliable way to trade the market over a long period of time. There are going to be times when the market has a strong trend, and there'll be times when the market goes sideways. There'll be times when the market doesn't move at all, and then there'll be times when the market moves too much. There'll be news events, natural disasters, acts of terrorism. Your computer will crash on you. Your charts won't work, right? You need to be aware of all of these situations and make sure that your trading strategy and your mindset are prepared to handle those situations without blowing your account and having one of those emotional meltdowns we've talked about in previous lessons. If you aren't testing your strategy over at least 100 trades, you're asking to blow your account and be forced to go back to zero again. But you know what? It's not even back to zero again. It's actually less than zero again, because not only do you lose money, but you lose confidence. And for some of us trying to avoid the job, right, the day job, and our spouses, right? I mean, I can't even tell you how many times I talked my wife into allowing me one more chance, one more, right? I'm not the only person that did that. I know, right? We lose valuable time. Every time we blow up, we go back to zero, it's not zero, right? It's less than zero, because now we've lost valuable time as well. Now, that's the first one, 100 trades, right? No back testing, real-time testing. Number 2, out of 6 tips to move from sim to live, use a similar position size. This is a great one. While you're testing your strategy, make sure you're using the same position size that you would when you go live. I see far too many rookie traders practicing with a big 10-lot position just for fun on a simulator. And then they wonder why they struggle to make money when they transition to live trading with one contract. Think about the psychology of this. If you're testing 10 contracts, the first target on crude oil, 10-tick target, is worth $1,000 profit, which is great. But when you move to trading live on one contract, the first target's only $100. Right? Now, $100 is still pretty good, but it's not 1,000. What will that do for your psychology? Well, for me, it would, first of all, it would make me overtrade, right? I would also try to hold my trades too long, and I would ultimately sabotage my strategy because I wouldn't get excited about making $100 when I was previously exposed to making $1,000. It's easier to stay patient when you get $1,000 profit waiting for you. It's much more difficult, right? If that $1,000 turns into $100, you're going to try to overtrade to make that money that you've been accustomed to do, right? Now, I know this sounds like common sense, but for some reason, I meet way too many traders that make this rookie mistake. Number 3, third trick, right, moving from sim to live trading, is all in, all out, simple trade management. Now, I know I'm going to catch some flack on this one, and I hope you voice your opinion in the comments below this video. You might disagree with me on this, but my personal experience in my own trading and working with literally thousands of new traders in my career, probably tens of thousands, right, when I include people that I haven't really met in person, but I work with on YouTube, right? My personal opinion is you should start in simulation by using one stop and one target. So while you're practicing, keep it simple, no scaling in and no scaling out of trades. Okay, when I'm practicing, I want the fewest moving pieces as possible, which will make it easier for me to transition into live trading. Here are 3 things, right? 3 reasons why I recommend you use simple trade management while you're practicing. 1, it puts the focus on your winning percentages rather than your profits. Okay, now I know we're all here to make profit. I understand that. But in my personal experience, getting my winning ratio up above 75% made a huge difference in my ability to earn consistent profit because my confidence levels went through the roof. Number 2, it forces you to use responsible risk management. Okay, by using for example, 10-tick stop and a 10-tick target, simple trade management, it puts a spotlight on bad trade management. Simply put, you don't want to risk more than you get as a reward, and a lot of new traders overcomplicate the trade management process to the point where they can't really tell what their average winning trade looks like or even what a winning trade looks like at all. This makes it a lot easier. And the third reason why I recommend simple trade management is all in our head. Psychologically, it's easier to recover from a loss, right, when you know that one winner is equal to or greater than one loss. Now, I know everyone wants to make a lot of money. We all want to make a lot of money. But when you're testing your strategy, I want to focus on the basics and develop confidence to keep trading through adversity. Think of it this way. Keep your trade management as simple as possible, which makes it easy for you to see that you're making good decisions when you trade, make it easy to stay confident in the face of adversity, and make it easy to see that you can achieve a high winning percentage. Once you finish testing and you move to live trading, it'll be easy for you to transfer that confidence to your live account. Then once you see consistency on your live account with a small position, with simple trade management, right? At least 100 days on live. I recommend at least 180 days, right? So practicing, then moving live. Once you're live, after 180 days, then you can move to adding a runner, trailing stops, and get more complex from there. So simple trade management, right? It'll give you a good idea of what your winning ratio is. And once you have your winning ratios nailed down, for some reason it just changes something in the back of your head, right? Where all of a sudden you're more confident, and more confidence, right, leads to more success, right? Number 4. The fourth trick to moving from simulation to live is black and white entry and exit rules. Now, one of the biggest obstacles I had to overcome when I was developing my strategy was the use of specific black and white entry and exit rules. Now, really, I got to thank a lot of my clients for that. You know the old saying, right? When I teach something, right, I'm the one that actually gets the most out of it, right? The teacher actually gets the most from the teacher, right, teachee relationship, right? So as developing my strategy over the years, I've really been forced, because when you become a client of mine, I'm going to give you black and white rules. Trade this, don't trade that. That's not easy. And while you're testing your trading strategy over 100 trades, you need to be certain that you're following your rules. Because if you don't follow those rules, you'll never be able to translate those results or rely on those results, right, when you move to your live account. You know, it's easy to get lazy with your rules when you're practicing in simulation because there's no real money at risk, right? But you need to, as we always say in the trade room, practice like you play. In other words, you need to make sure that you've practiced, right, using your rules, and your practice results actually reflect what your strategy is capable of doing. The biggest reasons why you need to follow those rules while developing your strategy is so that you can trust your strategy when you go live. Remember, right, you can lie to yourself when you talk about the success of your testing, right? But if you don't follow specific black and white entry and exit rules, you aren't going to truly trust your strategy when you start putting real money at risk. Every time you got in too early in your practice lines, right, or moved your stop back to avoid a loss, or let a winner run more than your strategy would have allowed, every time you trade outside that strategy in your practice phase, you're making it that much harder for you to subconsciously trust your strategy when the time comes to go live. The saying you have to practice like you play is an understatement. It really is. But it's a great way of describing that you must use those rules, right, consistently when you practice, or else you won't trust your strategy when you go live. All right, number 5, the fifth tip or trick to move from simulation to live trading is track your practice trading with a journal. Now, we have talked a lot about journaling on these psychology videos. I hope you have your journal because, right, you've got a great use of that journal here with this. As you practice your trading strategy, use simple trade management with specific entry and exit rules. You need to keep track of every trade you take because this is going to be the backbone, right, when times get tough and you go live. After you start risking real money, you're going to have real emotions, and that will make it hard to keep following your strategy. You're going to doubt yourself, and that little voice in your head, right? Remember the last video, right? Last week, right? The devil and the angel. Yeah, well, that little voice in your head is going to pop up, right, and try to sabotage your trading. And you need to have a way to counterbalance that voice in your head, and that's your journal. For example, what happens if you lose money 2 days in a row? When there's real money at risk, you're going to be doubting yourself and you're doubting your strategy. You need to be able to go back and read your trading journal, see examples where you had a similar situation, right, while you were practicing on your demo. It's so much easier to stay confident in your trading strategy when you've tested the strategy over 100 plus trades using black and white rules, and you have proof in your journal that you were able to overcome challenges along the way. And number 6, the final tip, moving from simulation to live trading, is a morning and evening routine. Now, our brains love it when we follow a routine. It helps the brain conserve energy, it removes emotion, and it just makes everything easier. You know, I like to think of it as by using a routine, that frees up my mind to develop new ideas and grow. If I'm always struggling with every little aspect, you know, it's why you probably notice I always wear a black t-shirt, right? I have a wardrobe filled with black t-shirts. I have a very simple routine, and I've removed that decision from most of my life. That way, my mind can be freed up to make more important decisions, right, that are going to end up helping me achieve my success. Now, remember, trading is a performance skill. And just like the most successful performers, right, athletes, musicians, actors and actresses, right, they all have strict routines before they perform. Traders should also use a routine as well. One of the most important things that helped me transition from sim trading to live trading was keeping everything consistent during that transition. while you're testing your strategy. Get into a daily routine that you can sustainably commit to every single morning when you go live. A good example of this, when I was a younger trader, I had a daily routine. I had some lofty goals like most of us do, right, early in our career, and I had a daily routine that was not sustainable, right? Very little sleep, lots of caffeine, right? It was unsustainable. And sure enough, when I went live, that little bit of emotional pressure and the whole thing, right, toppled underneath me, right? So, for example, I want a routine that's easy for me to do and I can do into the future. For example, I wake up every morning. I drink a little bit of green juice, right? A little bit of a green juice, right? Get the nutrition going every day. I do some yoga, some light meditation. We've talked about meditation, right? For strengthening those patience muscles. Then I open my trade room and I begin my morning checklist with all of my clients. Once I get into my trade room, I then have another routine that I follow every morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Guys, I could do this routine in my sleep. And I got to be honest, I live in California, right? Some mornings at 4 o'clock Pacific time, it definitely feels like I'm asleep, right? But this routine, right, the point I want to make is that your morning routine is going to get you into the groove each morning, right, which will make it easier, right, to transition from sim to live trading. Boy, what a great lesson today. Let's wrap things up. One of the most common challenges we face as traders is moving from simulated trading to live trading. And we use these 6 tips, right, will make it easier. 1, practice for at least 100 trades. Not back testing, right? Back testing is a fool's game. Skip the back testing, trade on simulator in real time. 2, use a similar position size when you're practicing as to when you'll be trading live. Okay, don't practice on 10 contracts for fun, right? And then wonder why you're struggling with one contract when you go live. Number 3, use simple trade management. And I know many people will disagree with me on this, but I've seen it work so well with my new traders. 1 stop, 1 target, and then once you go live, 180 days later, I realize, but this will give you a chance to grow your account, right? There's nothing wrong with starting live with 2 contracts, 1 stop, 1 target, and then go to 10 contracts, 1 stop and 1 target, then add a runner, right? Take 8 off at the first target, leave a runner for the next one, right? We can go into more details that as a client. So use simple trade management with 1 stop and 1 target. 4, use black and white entry and exit rules and always practice like you play. 5, track your trading with a journal. This gives you data that will get you through adversity, right? It'll tell that little voice in your head to quiet down. And number 6, develop a routine for before and after you trade so that when you transition, nothing changes. So what do you think? What do you think about these tips? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you have any of your own? Do you have any tricks that have worked for you, right? What part of this do you disagree? Help me out. Drop me a comment below the video because I would love to share with everyone watching this video today. And don't forget, you can find me every morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'll be in our trade with all of our members, right? Watch my newsletter every night on my blog before 8 p.m. Eastern time. We got a great free trial over at schooloftrade.com. Boy, what a great lesson on psychology today. And there's a lot more coming where that came from. Don't forget, my name is Joseph. You guys be well out there. Be nice to each other. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.